God has an urgent message specifically for you today about your love life. Those unusual dreams you've been having about weddings and white dresses, the random conversations about marriage you've overheard lately, the way your heart suddenly flutters when you pass certain places. These aren't coincidences. The divine realm is trying to communicate something important to you right now. You've been waiting, praying, and wondering when your season of loneliness would end. God sees your faithful heart and wants you to know that everything is about to change. The heavenly realm is buzzing with activity concerning your love life. The fact that you found this message today is divine timing. You were guided here because the confirmation you've been seeking is finally ready to be revealed. God wants you to prepare your heart for what's coming. The signs have been appearing all around you, but now it's time to understand their meaning. Divine wisdom and love surround you as you receive this message. Your guardian angels are gathering close, knowing this revelation will forever change the course of your life. The wait that felt endless is finally reaching its divine conclusion. God has revealed that your season of waiting for marriage is ending. What you don't realize is that a divine plan for your love life has been unfolding behind the scenes all along. While you were feeling forgotten or overlooked, heavenly preparations were being made for a union far greater than anything you could have arranged for yourself. This isn't just about finding someone to end your loneliness. This is about a divine partnership that carries spiritual purpose and blessing. The timing of this union has been carefully orchestrated to align with both your spiritual readiness and the world's need for the unique ministry your marriage will create. Had this marriage come earlier, it wouldn't have fulfilled its divine purpose. Every delay, every disappointment, every relationship that didn't work out was actually divine protection. God was guarding you for the person truly meant for you. The heavenly signs confirming this message is specifically for you include the recurring thoughts about marriage that seem to come from nowhere, the unusual peace you've started feeling about your future, and the dreams featuring wedding symbols that leave you with a sense of certainty when you wake. What makes this divine timing so critical is that your future spouse is now in the final stages of their preparation to meet you. The pathway between your lives is being divinely cleared right now. God wants you to recognize the divine signs that have been appearing in your life, confirming your marriage season is approaching. Have you noticed recurring dreams about weddings, rings, or white dresses? These are spiritual glimpses of what's being prepared for you. Pay attention to the emotions these dreams leave you with. That sense of peace and rightness is confirmation. The numbers 1111, 222, or 777 appearing repeatedly on clocks, license plates, or receipts are divine signals of alignment and approaching union. These aren't random. They're heavenly communication meant specifically for you. Notice how conversations about marriage seem to find you lately. Perhaps strangers mention their weddings to you, friends suddenly announce engagements, or you keep seeing wedding scenes in unexpected places. The spiritual realm often prepares us through these coincidental exposures. Have you met people recently with the same name repeatedly? This could be a divine hint about your future spouse's name or something similar sounding. God often plants these seeds of recognition before the divine meeting occurs. Physical sensations can also be confirmation. Unexplained warmth in your heart when praying about marriage, tingles down your spine when thinking about your future, or sudden emotional shifts from anxiety to peace about relationships. Pay attention to how children and animals respond to you lately. Their spiritual sensitivity often detects when someone is entering a significant life transition. Have children suddenly mentioned wedding topics around you? Has your pet become more attentive or protective? Finding wedding symbols in everyday objects. White feathers, heart shapes in nature, circular patterns that remind you of rings. These coincidences are divine whispers, confirming your marriage blessing is approaching. Each sign builds upon the others, creating an undeniable pattern of confirmation that your divinely ordained marriage is near. What you haven't realized is that powerful spiritual interference has been blocking your marriage blessing until now. Hidden forces have worked to delay this divine union, not because you weren't worthy, but because the enemy recognizes how powerful your marriage covenant will be. The light your united purpose will shine in this world has made you a target for spiritual opposition. Family patterns of broken relationships, generational struggles with commitment, and unhealed wounds from your past created blockages in your spiritual pathway to marriage. These weren't just emotional hurdles, they were spiritual barriers the enemy used to prevent your divine connection. God wants you to know that divine intervention is actively removing these blockages right now. The spiritual atmosphere around your love life is being cleansed and purified. That's why you've recently felt unusual peace about your relationship status, or experienced sudden healing of old relationship wounds. Signs that your pathway to marriage is being cleared include unexpected reconciliations in family relationships, dreams where you see obstacles being removed, and a new clarity about past relationship patterns that no longer serve you. A special angelic assignment is now in place, establishing protection over your future marriage covenant. This heavenly shield prevents new interferences from forming and guards the divine connection being prepared between you and your future spouse. The spiritual opposition to your marriage is being neutralized because your waiting season has fulfilled its purpose. You've developed the spiritual strength and discernment needed to protect the blessing that's approaching. God has been preparing you for this divine marriage in ways you haven't fully recognized. The inner healing work you've experienced, those moments of insight about past hurts, the gradual release of old resentments, the increasing ability to forgive, these weren't random spiritual growth. They were specific preparation for the intimate covenant of marriage. The challenges that tested your patience, faith, and perseverance were developing crucial character qualities needed for a blessed union. Your capacity for commitment during difficulty, communication during misunderstanding, and love during disappointment has been divinely strengthened. Certain gifts and abilities awakening within you recently aren't just for your personal growth. They're being activated now because they'll work in perfect harmony with your future spouse's gifts. Together, your combined abilities will fulfill a divine purpose neither of you could accomplish alone. Have you noticed changes in your financial situation or living arrangements? Perhaps unexpected improvements or new opportunities? God is establishing the practical foundation your marriage needs to thrive. The shifting of certain friendships, adjustment of priorities, and new interests developing in your life are divinely orchestrated preparation. They're aligning you with the life path you'll share with your spouse. Even your current spiritual hunger and deepening relationship with God serves a marriage purpose. This foundation of spiritual intimacy with your Creator establishes the pattern for the intimate bond you'll soon share with your spouse. While you've been undergoing divine preparation, God has simultaneously been preparing your future spouse. They too have been experiencing unusual signs, divine healing, and spiritual growth specifically designed to ready them for union with you. At this very moment, they're receiving their own confirmations that marriage is approaching. Your future spouse has been on a journey that perfectly complements yours. Where you have strengths, they have matching needs. Where you have needs, they've been given complementary strengths. This divine compatibility extends beyond personality to your spiritual gifts, life purpose, and even family healing. When you meet this person, you'll recognize specific qualities God has been highlighting in your spirit. You may notice they use certain phrases you've heard in your prayers, share unusual interests that match yours exactly, or have overcome challenges remarkably similar to your own. The divine orchestration bringing you together will feel supernatural, yet perfectly natural. Seemingly random circumstances will create a meeting that couldn't have been humanly arranged. Both of you will sense a familiar recognition, a spiritual knowing that transcends the time you've known each other. God wants you to know they carry a similar heart for service, a matching vision for family, and complementary spiritual gifts that will create a powerful ministry together. They've been praying for someone exactly like you, even without knowing your name or face. Their heart is being divinely protected and prepared specifically for you, just as yours is being guarded. For them, God is revealing that this divine marriage is closer than you've dared to believe. The signs indicating its proximity include increased spiritual dreams about relationships, sudden closure of past relationship wounds, and an unexplained readiness you feel in your spirit. The meeting with your future spouse will occur through divine orchestration that will leave no doubt about God's hand in the connection. Watch for unusual circumstances that create unexpected encounters. These aren't coincidences but divine appointments. When you meet this person, you'll experience specific recognition signs, an unusual peace in their presence, spiritual confirmation, through prayer, and divine synchronicities surrounding your interaction. Trust the inner knowing God places in your spirit. It's been divinely tuned to recognize your spiritual match. Your courtship will progress at a divinely accelerated pace that feels both surprisingly quick and completely right. The normal getting to know you process will be supernaturally enhanced as God reveals character confirmations and compatibility markers clearly. Throughout this divinely orchestrated relationship development, supernatural protection will guard your connection from unnecessary complications or delays. Doors will open effortlessly for your relationship to progress. From meeting to courtship to engagement, trust the divine timeline unfolding. It's been perfectly planned to align with God's purposes, not just for your life, but for the kingdom impact your union will create. This divine marriage carries purpose far beyond personal happiness. God is bringing you together with your future spouse to fulfill a specific kingdom assignment that requires both your gifts working in divine harmony. Your union isn't just about companionship. It's about spiritual impact that will affect many lives. The shared ministry or calling you'll fulfill together has already been written in heaven. Perhaps you felt drawn to certain causes, people groups, or forms of service without understanding why. These spiritual nudges were preparation for the work you'll do together. Your marriage will create a spiritual atmosphere that brings healing and restoration to others. People will find themselves naturally sharing their struggles when in your presence as a couple, finding hope through your united testimony and complementary wisdom. This divine union also carries generational blessing that will extend far beyond your lifetime. The spiritual inheritance you establish together will flow to your children, your community, and even to people you'll never meet personally. Family patterns of brokenness will end with you, replaced by a legacy of covenant love that demonstrates God's faithfulness. Divine protection already surrounds this future marriage and its purpose. Spiritual forces have been assigned specifically to guard the work you'll accomplish together. This explains why certain relationships or opportunities that would have distracted you from this purpose weren't allowed to take root in your life. Understand that when challenges come to your marriage, they'll often be direct spiritual opposition to the powerful ministry you carry together. This foreknowledge will help you recognize and overcome these attacks, staying focused on your divine assignment. God is revealing this marriage confirmation now, because your response in this season is crucial. Begin preparing your heart today, through specific spiritual practices that align you with divine timing. Each morning, take 5 minutes to pray specifically about your future marriage, thanking God for what's being prepared. Create space in your life for this blessing by releasing anything that doesn't align with your divine future, whether relationships, habits, or environments that would hinder your readiness for covenant love. The revelation you've received today requires faith-filled action. Show your belief in this divine confirmation by preparing spiritually, emotionally, and practically for the marriage that's approaching. Your active faith accelerates divine timing. Demonstrate gratitude for this divine revelation by giving super thanks up to $20. This spiritual seed activates the principle of harvest in your life, creating abundance that will flow into your future. Marriage. Your giving today is an act of faith that strengthens the divine connection, revealing your marriage future. God's confirmation about your approaching marriage isn't just information. It's an invitation to align with divine timing through preparation, gratitude, and expectant faith. Your marriage blessing awaits just ahead, divinely perfect in every detail,